So welcome to Bonnie's Designs. This is a live show, it's live peoples, recorded for Ustream.tv and also for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. I'm playing with my Derwent 36 oil pastels, and I'm being a bit freer with this. It's a bigger, bolder pattern, so I kind of just want to be playing with the crayons. So there's no blending except for the two crayons blending together. It's easy on your hands and it should be a lot quicker, and it's a lot freer as well, so it's quite fun. It's rather childish and it's kind of really freeing, so that's quite good because it takes me out of my comfort zone. So thanks for joining me, everybody. This is a bit of a first year making videos birthday celebration, so thanks for joining me. If anybody's got any questions, pop them in caps. And I've had a bit of a play with this one, and sometimes you've got to scratch on a scrappy bit of paper to make sure that a poppy red is a poppy red and not a reddy pinky red. So although you can have pink poppies if you want, black poppies, there's all kinds of shades and colours. I'm actually doing this from memory, which is something I don't normally do, but I actually quite like this. So this is a really free way of working, so it's quite good sometimes to be very bold. So I'll zoom in and you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Hopefully, tap the right way. So I've used 3 colours on there, and the lightest and the darkest green, because that's the easiest. I don't really need the white on there, but I could put a highlight if I wanted. But this is kind of very freeing. I can't remember what colour the stamens are in the middle, so I'm going to leave. I think that's pale green, isn't it? I think. I've got 2 shades of the poppy, so I'm just going to kind of. The one thing you've got to remember is that when you put your hand on it, it will smudge now, so you've got to be a bit careful. So. Just like crayons, but they're a bit softer. That I can't use crayons because I've got poorly hands, but these kind of just glide over the top. They're a bit like butter, and again I like that. Now I could go in there with a bit of a purple to give a bit of a deeper colour, but I'll just see how we get on. And you can blend that down. In fact, I've got a bit of a deeper red as well, so maybe I like that too, so maybe just put that hint of pink in there. But start with the 2 together. So it's very quick, it's a lot quicker, and you're blending the 2 together rather than using a blending tool. So if you think it's a cross between a crayon and a soft pastel, so it kind of glides over the top of your paper. But bearing in mind this is ordinary colour paper, it's not particularly strong enough for pastel. It's not for oil pastel. It is a basic colour book page, so it's not really built to withstand a lot of colour, so it's doing quite well. But these pastels will tend to go on kind of anything, so and I'm using that paler orangey colour to kind of just have a bit of contrast between the 2. You can't tend to oversaturate the page either. Once you've got a good coating on, that's enough. You don't get any more but it's very quick. You can put a white. I didn't do it this time, but you can put white on the edge and that will give you another highlight, but I want it to be kind of really bold this time, so you just got to make sure you keep in your if you make that a little bit looser, the palest one can be then manipulated in, and then the edge will be just pure pale. And that's where you get your nice transition from. But they blend over the top quite nicely. And I'm using all the same make. These are all Derwents. I've not mixed them up like I sometimes do with the others. So again, you've got that continuity of they've all got the same properties. They're not, some are richer and creamier than others. I've got some old pastels that are very soft. So I think there's a rule of 3 sometimes that you use, and I think it works really well here. So that's given me my dark, my medium and my light. And there's not much in it, but again, I like that. I could have had a white highlight, but like I did on the little bud. But I chose to go darker, so I quite like that, and it's going to be a very vibrant flower is this. So the strongest colour at the bottom, and then you can kind of leave gaps, and you can do it in dots if you want. It's just that that would hurt my hand. And then the next one, you're going to go over the middle section, and then the stronger colour, and then at the end you're mixing that one over the top and then blending back down. So you should get a subtle colour change, but very, very vibrant. And again, they're almost like butter with these. They're very, very soft. So very quick, very soft, easy on your hands, very strong colours. And great fun to be kind of really bold, which is something that I'm not. I kind of like pastel colours. You can't build up too much colour, but you've just got enough to have a nice blend. And sometimes you go over the lines, but again, because it's such a vibrant, bold shape, it doesn't really matter that much. You don't want to push down too much. I'm hardly pushing down at all. I'm just kind of scribbling, because it just literally glides across. And again, the darkest one here. And then the palest one at the top. And just that subtle orange has made the difference, because when you see the other red behind, you know that that is the top of the petal and the other is the bottom. And again, extremely quick and great fun. So you're not going to hurt your hands, which is a big thing for me. I watch people with these pencils and it's wonderful, but I think in a few years their hands are going to be crippled, and it breaks my heart a little bit, because only do I know through experience of using my hands a lot. You know, they are not going to stand this rigorous pencil action year in, year out. So you need a bit of variety, so you're not doing it all the time. So we're almost on the last leg. Again, very quick. So you could use children's wax crayons. This was very similar, except for the blend wouldn't be as good with ordinary Crayola. I do have ordinary Crayola, but my hands won't really touch it, so I can't use it. But you could use Crayola crayons, and that's not quite as bad. What you probably find is, again, coloured paper wouldn't take too much of this. It knows when it's had enough. So I've got some little bits on there, and it'll start to peel. So you do know when you fill the actual space. A nice, gentle, soft scribble is basically what you're doing. A little bit harder. I'm going to leave the centres because I'm not sure what to do with them. That's quite good. Hi Kangol, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Kanga, sorry, I do apologise. Hi Kanga, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Anybody else popping in? It's a very quick 3 colours. A kind of an orangey red, a deep reddy red, and a pinky red. And you've just got to remember what order you do them in, otherwise your petals will look silly. But again, just a very soft scribble. Sorry if I'm in the way. If I go that side a little bit, that would be a bit better. You can see what I'm doing then. Just a soft scribble. You can go in circular motions. You can go up and down. All you're trying to do is to get a coverage, and I say the paper will grip so much, and then after a while you'll get bits and you realise then. So I've got to practice what I preach and put that over there so I don't contaminate. I'm pretty sure the centres are pale green, so I might just have to Google that, because I kind of like the effect this has got. Again, very quick, completely different to how I was working a few minutes ago, and there's something quite nice about that. There's something quite nice. Oops, sorry, there might be a bark alert. Alf is on the route. Alf is on the prowl. So I just didn't like the way that blended. I didn't do it correctly, so again, just softly blend it round. Yes, I don't like it when lorries use the lay-by to turn round, but bless them. And then that would be very dark behind there. Just put a little bit of dark behind there. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream with live peoples. And apologies if I don't keep looking up at chat. I get a bit engrossed in what I'm doing. So again, because you've got that highlight there, so you want it very strong here, and then you kind of want to go a bit wispy here. And what that does is that means that's blended into that one, and the next one will blend into that one then. So again, wispy till you've got your nice blend. And you can go up and down, left or right. Little circular motions, whichever's easiest, and you're just filling it in. So you get a really nice blended effect. Now here's going to be a bit different because we've got that shadow bit there. And I've lost a lot of the sharp edges, but if I wanted a real sharp one, I've got one at the other side. But I'm quite enjoying having this kind of soft bit there. So I'll put that round there. And that's almost another petal done. So that would be dark, and then that would be medium. So it's very, very quick again, so that's quite nice. It's quite nice sometimes to be quite free. And you know, it's difficult to get these colours, but once you see these colours you think, wow, I want to paint that in oil or something. So it really does make it that you want to do different things. You do find it is a bit bitty though, so you've got to be a bit careful, because you do get little bits everywhere. So again, I've got this shadow down here. And what happens is, because you've got even that subtle colour change, it makes all the difference when you get the next highlight one next to it. Oops, because you can almost see the form of the petals, and that's only by using the colours. You can see that that is a kind of a kink in there, so you can see the difference. And you know that that petal's curled that way and the other petal's curled the other way, which was a bit difficult to see before. As I said, it's got to be a little bit careful with these bits, but I'm going to do a dark background I think anyway, although they look quite nice on pale. So we've got two more to do. I've got this one here. Oops, got to remember that is actually a water dish. And I haven't used much of the crayon. It's not like it's been annihilated, and yet you've got quite a lot there. Oops, I'm just going to put those colours back. You can scratch them off if you get too many. So I'll start with that one, and we want just a little bit of that, and a bit more of this. So again, quite like the idea. This is what I had in mind, these really vibrant, quick, bright colours. And I'm going to Google the middles. I think they're like a pea green if I remember, or they're black. But we don't have any black dots on these, so they're not the black poppies. I think these are just the red ones. They're not particularly black. So if you want kind of a subtle shade, you've got to kind of then wisp out the next layer, so that when you come in with the palest one, when you wisp in, you're going to get a natural blend. Even though you've not blended them, you kind of optically blended them. But they will blend a little bit, but we've done none of this rubbing and blending as such. We've just kind of scratched the colours together. But again, very quick. And sometimes you want to just do that. Sometimes you just feel like you want to do therapeutic, quick, bright, bold colours. but still have something quite pleasant to look at the end. They're going to be a bit difficult to get into, so I might have to have a bit of a think about that. I think that's quite dark. That one's a dark shadow because it's behind. So if anybody's got any questions, pop them in caps. I think I'm going to put that one there. And we want a big curl on this one, so we're going to put the curl on the outside. So we know that that's curled round. And again, it's quite easy on the hands, it's not so bad. I wouldn't want to do it for 5 or 6 hours, but it's quite easy, it's not so bad, as I say. So that's a bonus. We know we're not going to do too much damage to there. So you don't have to do one way or the other, you can mix and match. So that's the darkest. And by going round the darkest, also happens to be next to the lightest of the petal in front of it. And this is what a lot of artists did, like Rembrandt, is they put a darker next to a lightest, and you make your lighters lighter and your highlights lighter and your shadows darker. And there is a word for it, but I just can't remember it. But it's all to do with putting your darks next to your lights to make your highlights lighter, if that makes any sense. So instead of having a mid-tone, I've put my dark next to my lightest, which is actually as it happens to do. So it's going to make that look darker and that look lighter. But you do it where it normally isn't normally there, and it creates a different thing for your work. Oopsie. So again, that's something else that sometimes pops up in colour books and sometimes doesn't, but it makes a difference. So if you were doing an interior scene, you could have your highlight, a cheek highlight next to a shadow of a hair is another good example. Yes, please, darling. Thank you. So I kind of like these really, really strong, bold colours, and they're very quick. Oops, sorry, very quick. So we've got a little one to do there. Sorry, I'm just trying to move. And I did use the white for this one, so I'm going to put a little bit of white on there, and then I use the middle tone. Sorry, I used the lightest tone, and I used the second tone there. And that page is just short of that page. Now I probably won't use that one, but what I do is just put a piece of paper there, so that when I do that, it hasn't gone on the next page. And then I've got the green at that side and the darkest green on that side. Just brush that away. So we've got one last huge petal. So we've got the darkest first. So kind of really bold in the middle. Oh, I've got my hand on that one now. You can feel the waxy on your hand. So quite strong and solid, and then what you need is kind of a little bit of feathering, or you can dot. Then the next one, your next shade, and you only want 3, rule of 3, anything else and you get mud. So your next one is kind of blended, and that will, oops, I've gone over the line, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to put dark behind. So that should give a nice subtle blend. So then that wants to be quite strong, and I'm going to curl the edge one over. I think I'm going to curl that one over, I think. As it very fast, and just put the curl on there, just a bit of shadow, because again, colour books are really good. They show you where the shadows and the darks are and the lights are by cross-hatching and lines and no lines, so you know that there's going to be a curl on that. So I've got a bit of dark on the edge, but not the very dark, just the mid-tone. And then if you want to just go over that one, just to kind of give that a bit of boldness, because it's a very large petal, is that. And kind of blend over that a bit more, just a little bit more. But there comes a point where bits appear and you realise that the page is not going to hold any more colour. And thank you, Nigel. Sorry, from Hub. He's just made me a coffee. Bless him. Oops. And then there's the middle one. You see, I'd put that middle one to there, and then I'd bring the highlight on that one. Alfie, could you come here, please? Wandering off on your own? I don't think so. Come on. Good boy. So, again, if this was pencil, I couldn't do this with... Ow! Sorry, it just sat on my foot. My bully foot. Alfie. So by the time this gets to the top, there's going to be a really nice highlight, lightest colour next to the dark, so you know that's going to be a big outside petal. But it's got the contrast of being in the middle. And I'm going to put some greens on there, so we'll pop those back. So I'm going to put dark green and light. And you can't really do too much artistic to this because you've got all your bold lines already done, so you haven't got much to do really artistic wise. I've missed two there, look, so I'll just do that bit there. And they will blend just that little bit, just blend enough. And so I've missed the tip of that one, so I'm just going to make that one the mid-tone. This would be, oops, this would be this tone, and middle for some continuity, and this one would be the palest one. And a bit more kind of green on there. So I'll zoom out and you can have a look and see what it looks like. It's quite dramatic considering it's taken 30 minutes. Oh, it's very, very quick and very cool colours, and I've used a lot, but when you look at them next to the ones, if I get them the right way around, there's hardly anything being used in them. They're all the same length. And you can see it's almost just gone to a point. So there's the greens that I've used, and they're the colours. So I've gone around the edges. I've used the edges to get my edges. I've gone over a little bit. I actually quite like the white background. So I'm probably going to have a look. And again, as you can see, I've hardly used any. So it's not like you look like you're using a lot, but you're not, if that makes sense. So bear with me a second while I Google a poppy, and I'll just see. I'm pretty sure it's either bright pale green or black in the centre. So I'm going to have a mouthful of coffee. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Excuse me, maybe I've come out too much there. So I do like the effect, very quick, and just look up a puppy in a second. I think they look quite nice with a green centre and black stamens, but I just cannot remember for the life of me. I've got wax on the end of my fingers, it doesn't like it. It's very slow today. Come on, in your own time. It really is so slow, my phone. internet is really bad in this room. If it doesn't pop up in a minute, I shall leave them. I shall just leave them. Oh, there we go. Look, we have a puppy. So it is pale. Some are black and some are pale. So let's have a look. I think it's because I've got wax on my fingers. My internet is so slow. But there we have a puppy, and it has. Oopsie, it's gone now. Oh, thank you, Karen. Thank you. So here we have some puppies, and that's got like pinky colour. So we've got like the black stamens and a kind of a very pale insipid green. So I think that is actually the wrong green. I think it's more of a lemony green. So we're going to optically mix this, I think. It's more of a lemony lime green, but I don't think I can get a lemony lime green. So we'll put this acid yellow colour in there. And just have a hint of green around the back. So give it a bit of shadow around there. And I don't really like using black. I was going to use brown, but I think the poppy's got to be black. It has to be black. So it's black. And that's just going to give that a little bit of oomph, I think, especially next to that lime green. So it's scribble, but it's not like pencil. It's softer than Crayola crayons, children's crayons, because I can't do even children's crayons for very long. So I actually quite like the wooden things. I like the pale background. I really like the pale background. So I think I may leave it. I think I might leave it and think about it. So it's waxy. There's some bits coming off it, but it's quite okay, and it's going to go on the background there. So that's very quick, and that was 30 some minutes, and I had a bit of a natter before, so it's 30 minutes. Really like that, very quick. 3 colours and 2 greens. Oh, sorry, and a bit of white on that one. I did put a bit of white on those. Sorry, and the lime green, so, and the lemon. So I quite like that. Half a dozen colours, and that was very quick. So, and again, you think when you're scratching that you're going to use a lot of colour, but if you look on here, if you look there, they're all to nearly not quite a point, but there's hardly any left. You know, they're all still the same length. I've just used the edges of those 3, so there's quite a lot of space there, quite a lot of colours. So again, that is something that I wanted to do. A big pattern, big bold colours, and very quick, and it doesn't really bother your hands. I'd say they're almost like butter. They slide on. It's not like using a Crayola crayon. That's, you kind of got that rubbing action. This is a lot softer. Now, the other way you can use these is by blending them, which I'm going to do next, and I think I'm going to do that on a smaller scale. So that's the end of my Derwent pastels, the poppy page. Thank you for watching.